All right, welcome to Legs Day. We are back, not outside unfortunately, but that's okay because today what we're going to be working with primarily is going to be our resistance bands, which we've been talking about a lot. I'm going to show you how to do certain maneuvers, a couple of different levels. We can use our suspension trainer at a certain level. We'll probably have to adjust that later. And then of course we're going to be utilizing our ball kit. If you don't have the full ball kit, which this is the ball kit that I use, which is the Posture Magic ball kit. It's like a $20 ball kit on Amazon. You can just have a lacrosse ball and a golf ball, and a lot of the time that's enough. I like this one because it's got some special tools in it for special things, and when I work with clients I like to have a uniform amount of stuff that we have to work with. So I'm going to start with this spiky ball. If you don't have a spiky ball, you can start with a lacrosse ball or a golf ball, but we're going to work on our feet. So the first thing we're going to do is start rolling through our feet. Why do we do this on Legs Day? We do this on Legs Day because it increases proprioception. And what is proprioception? It's basically my brain knowing where my body is relative to itself in space, which is a super complicated way of saying it affects my balance and coordination, and many people get a lot of benefit from rolling their feet and their glutes once a day. I don't do it in every class. We normally do it with lower body and core, and we work on warming up the shoulders in the pushing and pulling days. But as far as rolling your feet goes, you can roll your feet every day for up to 90 seconds. And it can actually, it's been shown to improve like up to 60% of back pain cases. That doesn't mean fix, it means improve. It can also help reduce the risk of plantar fasciitis. It helps with ankle and knee pain. In general, it's just a really high yield, low effort thing to do. So we typically do it whenever we're addressing lower body or core. Same thing with rolling glutes. Glutes are a big part of lower back pain for many people, and your feet and your glutes both work in the same proprioceptive chain, switch sides, meaning they talk to each other on a neurological level and affect one another. So rolling them both really helps with joint stacking issues in the legs and lumbar and neck issues in the spine. You're like, how can that help with neck? And the answer is it's complicated, but it's an indirect relationship. I mean, it's direct in the sense that they all stack right on top of one another, but it's indirect in the sense of what my hips do affect what my neck does. So I can explain more about that later, but if you want to know more about that, in fact, just put a thing in the comments and I'll make a video about it. But if nobody cares, I'm not going to make a video about it. So a really, really important thing for us as creators is knowing what you guys want to know about. Because why should I make a bunch of material that you don't care about? So if there's things that you want to know, drop it in the comments. If you find this stuff helpful and you want to help support me, like and subscribe. That also hugely helps. And it also makes sure that you continue to get the content pushed directly to your feed so that you can stay up on your 30-minute everyday workout. Now we're going to switch to glutes. And the way we're going to roll our glutes is we're going to take this lacrosse ball or tennis ball and we're going to pin it between our glute and the wall. And we're going to do a little shimmy. Just rolling around, massaging your butt. Why? Because your glutes are one of the most important muscle systems in your body when it comes to standing up straight. They do so much of the work, and it's really important to make sure that they are mobile and supple, not only from a mobility standpoint, but also from a shock absorption and durability standpoint. So just your muscles don't just generate force, they also absorb force. And that's why we move a certain way that we move, which we're going to talk more about. But if you did the pull day yesterday, you experienced the quick pull, slow release. When we do pressing, it's quick press, slow lowering. Well, we're going to do bridges and we're going to do some lunges and squats today. using our bands and things, and we're going to do the same thing. It's going to be a quick up, slow down process. Quick up, slow down process. Good, switch sides. So you'll see what I mean as we go along. And it'll be good. We're gonna do a lot of basic movements, so squatting, lunging, bridging, and we're gonna use resistance bands to increase the difficulty. If for any reason that increase of difficulty is too much, you either just remove the resistance band, you just take it away, or you slightly scale the range of motion differently. And I'll explain different variations as we go along. But our goal is to get through a 30-minute workout, try to get good basic strength training in. And remember, our goal is to stay on a scale of 1 to 10 between like a 5 and an 8. An 8 is mechanical failure. I can no longer do the reps properly, but I can do a few more poorly. That would be a 9. A 9 is just mechanical failure. Not just technical failure, mechanical failure, and then a 10 is total exhaustion. I literally cannot do anything else. That would be, and we don't want to get to a 10. 10 is not where we want to be. All right, so now we're going to go down to the ground. We're going to do a couple of basic warm-ups for our hips, because hips are rotational joints. So we're going to lay on our back, we're going to put our feet wide, and we're just going to work on driving the feet and knees out and down. And I want to do, these are called windshield wipers. And I'm driving out to the side, knee down, and I'm just shifting side to side, allowing everything to open up, just like so. And this is going to be our basic mobility for the hips, because I'm focusing on the socket rotation, not the pelvic rotation, because this is my pelvis. And then right here are the sockets, the ball and socket. Now I want to bring my feet and knees together, tuck my pelvis so my lower back is flat, and I just want to rock side to side, same thing. Keeping my shoulder blades down, doing a nice, even mobility movement. And then after this, we're going to do what I call the scorpion, which is for our hip flexors in the front. Very similar to these two movements, but opposite direction. So now I'm going to go ahead and turn over onto my stomach. I'm going to put my arms out. My shoulders aren't going to stay on the ground for this because I have to rotate. Some people can, I can't. I'm going to take this foot, I'm going to pick it up, and I'm going to reach back for the ground behind me. Then I'm going to bring it back and down and go the other way. So I'm trying to reach up and around like so. I'm moving up a little bit so I don't hit anything. So we're going to go side to side for 10 repetitions. Starting in 3, 2, 1. I'm going to pick the foot up, rotate 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, 10. Very good. All right, now we're going to go ahead and stand up. Now, I am going to show a few variations of this process. Now, remember, what we're going to be looking at is slow on the way down, quick on the way up. So, to keep it super simple, let's start with a basic squat, okay? And for me, we're going to start with just a body weight squat. So, and then I'll make it, then we'll add resistance. So we'll do this as a warm-up. So we're going to start. Hands are going to be tucked in. My feet are going to be nice and wide. I'm going to drive my knees out so they go over my toes. I'm going to try to put my elbows right between my knees, just like so, and then come up. And I'm doing this keeping my back nice and straight. So See, I'm hinging. At no point do you see my pelvis tuck in underneath me. So I'm gonna go 3, 2, 1, up quick, okay? We're gonna do that for 10 repetitions. I'm gonna count it, you're gonna do it with me. So we're slowly lowering, pausing for a second, and then up quick. Starting in 3, 2, 1. So we're gonna lower, 3, 2, 1, pushing the knees out, up quick. That's 1. 3, 2, 1, up quick, 2. 3, 2, 1, up quick, 3. And down, 3, 2, 1, up quick, 4, good. 3, 2, 1, up quick, 5. 3, 2, 1, up quick, 6, good. 3, 2, 1, up quick, 7. 3, 2, 1, up quick, 8. You're going to drive your knees out too. 3, 2, 1, up quick, 9. See how my knees are pushing out over my toes. 3, 2, 1, up quick, 10. Good. Now, if that wasn't super hard for you and you're thinking to yourself, I can do more, great. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab a band like the one that I have here. And what you're going to do is we're going to simulate a front squat. And the way we simulate a front squat is we're going to step inside the loop, just like so. Wide enough that we can get our elbows still through our knees, right? I'm going to bend my knees down and I'm going to bring this up so that I can place it on my shoulders. And I'm going to hold it in place like this with my elbows pointed up, not down, up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press my knees out in the same way, resisting on the way down and then coming up quick into the band, okay? We're going to do that for 5 to 10 repetitions. Slow on the way down, hold at the bottom, quick on the way up. Starting and keeping your core nice and tight with your glutes pinched at the top. So we're going to start in 3, 2, 1. Slow on the way down and then up quick. 1, good. 3, 2, 1, up quick. 2, 3, 2, 1, up quick. 3, good. Down, 3, 2, 1, up quick. 4, 3, 2, 1, up quick. 5, 3, 2, 1, up quick. 6, 3, 2, 1, up quick. 7, show this from the side. 3, 2, 1, up quick. 8, 3, 2, 1, up quick. 9, one more. 3, 2, 1, up quick. 10, just like so. Then I can let the strap down, take a little break. Now, if that was super easy for you and you're like, you know what, I did not find that challenging, I would like to do something harder, I got you. One of my favorite movements back when I was powerlifting is something known as a Zercher squat. And the Zercher position is one where you link the band in your elbows, like this. So, how do we do this in this case? Well, it's hard to do. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to trade up for an even easier band. I'm going to use my red band, and we're going to simulate a goblet squat, which is a movement often done with a dumbbell or a kettlebell. But the way we're going to do it is we're going to step on the band like so. Like so. Instead of linking it in my arms, I'm going to hold it in my hands like this. Now I have to make sure that my knees go outside and come up this way. So, holding in front, elbows tucked in and down, shoulder blades back. I'm going to drive my knees out, lowering, driving up quickly, okay? So get set, starting in 3, 2, 1. Coming down, 3, 2, 1. Up quick, 1. And down, 3, 2, 1. Up quick, 2. 3, 2, 1. Up quick. 3, 3, 2, 1. Up quick. 4, 3, 2, 1. Up quick. 5, 3, 2, 1. Up quick. 6, 3, 2, 1. Up quick. 7, 3, 2, 1. Up quick. 8, 3, 2, 1. Up quick. 9, 3, 2, 1. Up quick. 10. Just like so. Let it down. Very good. All right. Take a break. Now what we're going to need is some sort of platform to place our shoulders on. So in my case here, in this room, I have this bed. Ta-da! Actually, no, sorry, I'm off. Same thing with the Zercher. I was going to make a point about Zercher squats, Zercher lifts. And we're going to get to that in a minute, just like we're going to get to the bridges in a minute. But first, we're going to do a heavier form of a sumo-style deadlift, but we're going to do it with a band. So the way we're going to do sumo deadlift today with a band is we're going to place the band on the ground like so. Very similar to how we would have a kettlebell or a barbell. Now, in a deadlift position, our hips are going to be higher than when we squat. When we squat, we want our hips in line with our knees at the bottom. Well, when we deadlift, we want our hips 45 degrees off the knee. So I'm going to take a wide stance again so that my body can fit in between my knees. From here, I'm going to sit my hips back, driving my knees back and grabbing onto the center of the band, like so. I'm going to show this from the side so you can see my hip and back position, which is really important. So from the side like this, I'm going to step onto the bands like so. I'm going to make sure my weight is firmly planted there. I'm going to hinge my hips back, driving my knees back so my hips are at about 45 degrees. From here, I'm going to pull, squeezing my glutes and driving into my hamstrings, and then slowly let down. I'm going to pull, slowly let down. Pull, slowly let down, just like so. This is a hinge. The butt goes back, okay? Not a squat. So I'm going to show this at basically an angle. That'll help. And we're going to do this for 10 repetitions like we did the squats. So I'm going to step onto the band, and of course I'm going to choose a band that's appropriate for my skill level and what is comfortable and doable while not being in pain. So I'm going to shift my hips back, I'm going to grab onto the band, I'm going to set up, I'm going to pull up to the top, pulling my shoulder blades back, slowly lowering. 1, I'm going to pull up, slowly lower. 2, pull up, slowly lower. 3, pull up, slowly lower. 4, pull up, slowly lower. 5, pull up, slowly lower. 6, hips are back, shins stay straight up and down. Pull up. 7, pull up. 8, slowly lower, pull up. 9, slowly lower, pull up. Slowly lower. 10. Good. Take a break. This shouldn't be undoable. We're not trying to reach fatigue. We're trying to stimulate the body in this big lift kind of way to organize itself. Now, are bands the same kind of stimulus as a barbell? No, they're not. They are, in fact, in many ways for adaptation, better. And the reason is because they are considered a variable resistance versus a constant resistance that you get from a barbell or a dumbbell. Variable resistance allows us to increase the pressure with significantly less risk of injury or impact on the joints. When I'm at my strongest, standing up, the band is at its strongest. So my muscles are isometrically contracting against the band at the peak state of performance. When I'm in the most danger, when I'm bent over, is also when the band is weakest. So I can do a lot more volume in variable resistance than I can in constant resistance or static resistance. So kind of bear that in mind. It's going to feel different, and you're gonna, people say, well, it's not that hard. It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to make you stronger, not kill you. All right, we're going for number 2. We're doing 10 again. Remember, quick up, hold at the top, slow on the way down. I call it a 3-1-X. 3 is the eccentric movement, 1 is the static hold, and then X is the explosive contraction. So in this case, we do it backwards. It's X1-3, but when you squat, it's 3-1-X. So, all right, get set. Knees are out, shins are back, starting in 3, 2, 1. Up, explode, hold it for a moment. 3, 2, 1. Up quick. Hold it for a moment. 3, 2, 1. Up quick. 3, 2, 1. 3, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 3, 2, 1. 6, 3, 2, 1. 7, 3, 2, 1. 8, 3, 2, 1. 9, 3, 2, 1. 10. Good. The other thing is if I ever get into trouble, like I feel a tweak or there's a problem, I can just let the band go, like, and I'm safe. Like, it's not going to kill me. This is much safer than weights in that regard. And again, you got to remember a whole set of bands costs about $40, $20, depending. So, you know, you want to add resistance, you can add resistance. This isn't even my heaviest band. This is just the one that I'm most effective at for this rep range. So this is what I'm choosing. I also really like to do these with my black ones single-handed. But as you can see, we're doing mostly compound movements, and time scale wise, I'm going to run out of time before we get to doing any single leg variations, it's looking like, and that's okay. This is by itself, the squat and the deadlift by themselves. As you know, they're known as the big 3, squat, deadlift, bench. Our version of this is squat or lunge, bridge or hinge, deadlift, sumo style deadlift, and then we do press and pull. Those are our big 4. And then of course, the 5th one on the core day we do a lot of is rotation. So really it's push, pull, squat, hinge, rotate. Those are the biggest functional drivers for a human body. So on legs day today, you'll see in the other days we do a lot of single leg variations. Well, today we're doing a lot of compound, large scale compound movements. Because I want to get you guys used to the bands. But ideally we want to start combining these. But for now, I'm sure you'll feel like you did plenty. We'll get to one variation, it's looking like. So, all right, go ahead and step on the band, starting wide, starting in 3, 2, 1, pull, slowly lower. 1, come up, slowly lower. 2, up, slowly lower. 3, up, slowly lower. 4, up, slowly lower. 5, up, slowly lower. 6, up, slowly lower. 7, up, slowly lower. 8, up, slowly lower. 9, and up, slowly lower. Very good. All right, so since I want to do the bridge, so what we're going to do is you're going to need something to rest your shoulders on, like this. For those of you that can't tell, Oliver, the coach, is here. He's taking a nap at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my band, I'm going to set it over my waist. like this, and I'm going to put it around my feet so that it comes around the outside, like so. Okay, this is why I didn't go with a super heavy band, because for me it's hard to get in position if it's super heavy. Now I know I'm wearing black pants, but the band is going around my hips here and it's linked around my feet. So what I'm going to do is drive up into this bridge and then slowly lower. Drive up into the bridge, slowly lower. And my shoulders just roll back on the bed, or couch, or bench, or whatever it is that you have. So we're going to do, now for me, I like to cushion my head and drive my shoulders back into the object as I come up and down. So we're going to do between, let's say 10 and 15. Starting in 3, 2, 1. I'm going to go up. 1, slowly lower. 2, driving into that band. 3, if you don't know how to do the band, don't do the band. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Very good. All right, take a little break. We're going to do 2 more sets like that and we should be all done. Now you'll notice again, you're dealing with variable resistance. At the bottom, this doesn't feel like a lot. At the top, you're really driving your hips forward. Make sure you're keeping your pelvis tucked and you're not arching your lower back. You're driving by squeezing your glutes and pushing the floor away from you into the ground. So it's like you're trying to push the floor away. And the reason I put my hands up like this is so my head's neutral and like I know my torso's as neutral as possible. I'm not arching my back on the way up and down. I'm heavily on my shoulders. All right, get set. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Drive up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Good. Take a break. 1 more to go. We can always add more resistance. We can always add more time under tension. We can always slow down the rep. We can always move faster. All of these factors go into the qualities that we're developing. And all of that collectively leads to muscle growth, mobility, tissue health, joint stability, increased metabolism, blah, 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 blah. But again, it's a practice more than it is, we have to isolate those qualities. That's the key. So, and we have to do it in a doable way. Best program in the world you don't do doesn't matter. So that's why we try to fit this stuff into 30 minutes. Last one, here we go. 3, 2, 1, let's rock. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, one more, 15. Very good. All right, go ahead and take those off. Whoop. Or something. I got out, thank God. All right, go ahead and stand up. take a little walk around. Tell me how everything's feeling in the comments section. Let's see, what's our time scale? 30 minutes on the dot. Boom. All right, good job. That is, by the way, just so you know, we did a double pull to press ratio. That's really important if you sit all day. That was somewhat intentional. We focused more on the posterior side than the anterior side, because when we sit, the anterior side shortens and this side lengthens. And most of the time, to help our backs, what we really need is more posterior strength and less anterior tension. Strength, yes. Tension, no. So more on that later. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I will see you tomorrow for mobility.